Welcome everybody to your Western Sydney University Spring Session Orientation. A huge congratulations to all of you for receiving an offer to study with us. You finally made it. Nice to see that you're all joining from different parts of the world as well, and quite a lot of you might be in Sydney already, and we can't wait to see you all back on campus very soon. And this session, we will have some very important, exciting, fun information that we really want to share with all of you. So without further ado, let's get started. So let me introduce myself. My name is Ishi, and I am part of the Western Sydney Student Services Hub. I am mostly part of the international team as well. I myself am an international student, so welcome everybody again. Congratulations and nice to meet you all. Just before we get started, a couple of housekeeping rules. This session is being recorded and will be published on our website later on. You are welcome to participate in the chat option. There's also the Q&A session or the poll section, which you can use to participate or ask any questions that you may have. Just to note, by participating in the chat, you are giving consent to have the information to be collected and shared in these sections for learning purposes and to build a catalog of frequently asked questions. Any personal information collected during the Zoom session will be handled in according to our privacy policy and the privacy management plan. You can visit our website for more information or email the following contact if you have any questions relating to our privacy policies and the management plan. Now, this might be something new to some of you, but before we start something, we like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land we're in. We pay our respect to the elders past, present, and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal people. Western Sydney University acknowledges the Darug, Eora, Darawal, also referred to as Tharawal and Wiradjuri peoples, and thank them for their support of its work in their lands in Greater Western Sydney and beyond. All right, so we have some very important and very useful information that we will be going through this orientation session and sharing with you all. So this session will give you the opportunity to learn more about the student services that are available, how to manage your study obligations as an international student, important visa information as well, careers and opportunities at Western. We've also got some safety in the community and how university life will work for you. What can you do to make your university life even more fun, just rather than just studying? And lastly, information and guidance on how to enroll and register for your classes will also be included in this session. So stay tuned. Like I mentioned earlier, we do have a chat option or the question and answer section in the Zoom, which you can choose to participate, but it's completely up to you. Just keep in mind to never share any personal information in any of these chat options. You simply need to select one of the small icons at the bottom of your Zoom page to participate. For the Q&A session, we have some of our amazing staff who will be doing their best to respond to any of the inquiries that you may have live time. So here are the examples. You can just follow. So it's going to be, the icon's going to be at the bottom of your Zoom page if you want to participate, but it's completely optional as well. Some very exciting news to share with you all is that our International Student Welcome Week will be held next week, Thursday, the 13th of July at 9 o'clock at the Parramatta South Campus. This is to celebrate you, the commencement of your studies with Western, and it's going to be face-to-face, so you will get to see a lot of your friends that you're just networking right now there too. So and yeah, you will get to learn about what to expect during your studies, connect with your fellow classmates, enjoy some live entertainment and collect free goodies and talk with the current panel as well, which I'm personally looking forward to. You may also have a poll that just popped out, so just let us know the options that you, whether will you be attending the International Student Welcome Week next week or not. Yeah, so if you haven't registered yet, you can do so by scanning the QR code shown on the screen, and to have yourself a chance to win some amazing gift cards as well. So again, just to remind you that it's going to be happening on the 13th of July next week, Thursday at 9 o'clock at the Parramatta South Campus. So come along to have some amazing time and to interact more with your other colleagues, to have a great time. All right, so now we will move on to some more important information regarding student wellbeing and the international student support services that we offer here at Western. So we have two amazing staff members, Sean and Julie, from our welfare service team to go through the next few slides with you all. So over to you, Sean and Julie.
Thanks, Ish. Hi, guys. My name is Sun. It's very nice to see you engage on the chat. So many of you are saying hello and letting us know where you're from. I can't wait to meet you on campus next week. So I'm here with Julie, my colleague, to talk about student wellbeing service. So before we start, I just wanted to let you know that we've got some sessions that we are running every week. Let me ask you a question. Thumbs up or put it in a chat if you're still overseas in your country or other country outside Australia. Just wanted to know how many of you are still overseas. Cool. Excellent. Okay. So this webinar is for you. We have 2 more sessions coming up next Tuesday and also following Tuesday on 18th of July. This is your opportunity to come and ask any questions. No questions are silly. We had students asking us about what to pack because they don't know about the climate. They don't know what to prepare. It's their first time traveling overseas. Also visa requirement and how things are in Sydney after 3 years of COVID. So there's a QR code on the screen. If you have your smartphone, you can scan that QR code and register for one of the sessions. Come along and ask any questions. Can we go to the next slide? Thank you. Okay, so before I talk about our student wellbeing service, I just wanted to let you know that sometimes life doesn't go as we planned, as we know. So I'm going to talk about support services who can give you a little hand when you feel stuck. Can you go back to the previous slide, Ish? Thank you. And I want to ask you a question. So as an international student who will be studying in a foreign country, what challenges do you expect? Have a think about it, whether you're here, whether you have been here in Sydney for a long time, or whether you're coming to Sydney for the first time. What challenges would you expect to experience? Loneliness, yes. Language gap, missing families, 100%. Differences in culture, cultural adjustment, language barrier. Yeah, there's so many. Yes, perfect. Okay, so I just wanted to reassure you that if you ever feel any of those feelings or faced with those challenges, you are not alone, and there are lots of support services available in university, but also in the community. Next slide, please. So the only thing that I can ask you is that if you feel stuck, seek help early. If you contact us earlier, there are more things we can discuss with you. And obviously, we don't want you to feel alone for a long time when you're experiencing something unexpected. Next slide, please. So one of the things that we have organized to help you settle in Sydney better, we have organized face-to-face meetup sessions for international students. So this is different to the welcome event that's going to happen next week. This is your opportunity to come along and meet other international students and learn something valuable. So some of the sessions will cover accommodation support, legal support in Australia that is offered to international students, and also working in Australia. So in terms of how to get a part-time job and what things that you need to be aware of. I know we've got career service towards the end of the session to talk about the career service. So you may have some information prior to that. And if these sessions are not at the moment in Western Life, but we're going to create an event registration in Western Life, which is the platform we use. You will find out about Western Life later on. So keep your eyes open for the registration on Western Life. And we've got 4 sessions coming up. Lunch will be provided. It will be fun to meet other students and feel more connected in the community. So one of the services that we offer within Wellbeing Team is Student Welfare Service, which is team that I'm involved. So in Student Welfare Service, we offer emergency financial assistance for students who are in need. These financial assistance don't cover tuition fee, as having enough funds to study is part of your visa condition. But if you are having any experience in terms of unable to paying rent and buying food for any reasons, you can always contact welfare service to get additional financial support. You can also get emergency accommodation assistance, which Julie is going to talk about after me. And if you're unsure about where to go to in university to get any support, you can always speak to welfare officer to get a referral. One of the things the welfare specifically does for international students is to help international students change enrollment, make changes in enrollment. So as an international student, you have to study full-time in any given compulsory sessions. But if you are having any personal issues or health issues that you are unable to commit to your full-time study at any given session, you can actually do part-time or take leave from study to go home. However, there are conditions, so it's important that you speak to welfare officer or professional staff at university before you make any decision. We also have a counseling service. I understand that in some cultures, seeing a counselor is seen as a stigma. And I am from one of those countries where I didn't want to see a counseling service because I feel there's a lot of stigma surrounded by it. But I can tell you that this is confidential service and it's opt-in service. So you can only contact, we can reach out to you, but it is your opportunity to take opportunity to engage with a professional service. If you are feeling lonely, if you feel like your problem is not being solved by speaking to your friends or family. Sometimes your problems are solved by sharing your issues with your friends and family, but sometimes you do need professional support. So feel free to contact counseling service if you need extra support. And I'm going to hand over to Julie to talk about disability service.
Great, thanks so much, Sun, and welcome. I'm Julie, as Sun mentioned, so I'm the Accommodation Support Officer with the Welfare Service, and I'm going to talk you through some of these slides now. We'll just touch on the disability service, similar to the welfare and the counselling. It's a totally confidential service where you can opt in if you have any issues that you need to talk to someone about. It may even be just a temporary injury that might affect you in exams, or a disability or a chronic health condition. Please just reach out to the team, make a confidential appointment, and you can have a chat to them about that to see how they can assist. Next slide, please. So there are many accommodation options to choose from. So I might just ask if you want to put in the chat, who has not organised or sorted their accommodation yet? I'm coming through there, so I'll continue on, but if you want to put that in the chat. So we recommend you plan ahead to secure accommodation before you arrive. But if you haven't, we're here to help and guide you. So definitely I'll run through some options here now. We're offering a dedicated accommodation support service to students, particularly international students, to transition you into housing and accommodation while you study with us. And that can be whether you choose to live on campus or nearby campus. As Sun mentioned, we can also assist with emergency accommodation as things arise that are unexpected, and please just reach out early is always best with anything at the university, and then we can guide and support you through any tough times. Don't ever feel you're alone. There's no harm in asking, just reach out. Also, we manage any under 18 students, if any of you are under 18, if you're on a welfare arrangement with the university. So we also case manage those students to ensure that they're feeling supported and transition into their homestay or host family. So important things to be aware of when planning your accommodation is the availability and the need to book in early, as I mentioned before. Of course, the locality and travel distance to your campus where you'll be studying and how you may get there, the cost of transport and the time it may take. I can always guide you on that if you're unsure where to look. Ongoing costs and fees of your accommodation, including your rent and any other fees. The legalities of entering a legal agreement or a rental agreement or contract with an accommodation provider, or we call them landlords, that may have where you live. And just to know that free support and advice is always available. So if you have any questions, you can always just ask if you're concerned, but particularly important that If you're ever signing any contracts for a tenancy agreement, make sure you read them and you understand them. We can also help you with that, or our legal service. And also if you're signing anything, get a copy of that document you're signing. So if you require, as I mentioned, guidance with your accommodation, please reach out and make an appointment. That'd probably be with me or one of our welfare team. But also appointments are available for all of our student wellbeing services, and that includes counselling, disability or welfare. These are available via Zoom if you're still offshore, or if you've already arrived, that can be Zoom, telephone or face-to-face on campus, whatever is most suitable and convenient to everybody. We'll provide some contact details in the chat shortly. So please also visit our accommodation website, which I'll provide, and that also can give you some more options on everything available to you. Just to the next slide, please. Western Sydney University offers a fantastic student legal service. It's a great starting point if you have any questions or if you have any concerns. They can provide advice for international students around working in Australia and then all the laws there, tenancy agreements as mentioned before, and scams and just things around how to help you there if you're unsure about things. As well as they can always refer you to external legal services in the community. And there's a lot of free services available for students and international students. So please reach out to that team for advice if you need to. So now that's the end of my presentation, and on to the next presenter, I think it's Michelle. Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll now move on to the peer assisted programs that we offer for students. But thanks, Sean and Julie, for wonderful, actually, information that you provided. So yeah, over to you, Michelle.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm coming to you from Queensland today. I'm on the lands of the Yuggawurrul people, which is quite exciting. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So I'm here to talk to you about 3 programs today. They're all peer programs. So these are programs that are led by students for students. So you have an opportunity to actually get involved in a lot of events that we run that you get to know other new students. So I'm going to talk to you first about the Mates Mentoring Program. So the Mates Mentoring Program is specifically for you, for all of our new students. And what we do with this program is you get to meet with another new student, with another more experienced student at the university, and you can meet with them for the first 8 weeks of session. And they're there to help you find your way. So they'll help you connect with other students. They will assist you to find out about different services that are available and to get involved in a lot of co-curricular activities. So all the fun stuff that's available on campus, because we want you to feel a sense of belonging to the university. So this program is a fantastic program that will help you find your way. We've got a QR code up on screen, and I'll also put the link into the chat shortly. Next slide, please. We also have English conversation groups, and this is a fantastic program. Again, it's run by our students and they go through training, and you get to meet with one of our English conversation group facilitators, and you meet in a group and you can practice your conversational English. We know it can be daunting sometimes when you're new to a country and you're not sure of the lingo. So we speak a lot of slang in Australia. So g'day, Aussie, avo for an avocado, arvo for an afternoon. So we're going to help you navigate that because it can be confusing. We have different themes each week, and this program starts in week 2 of session. And prior to session start as well, we're going to have some meet and greets. We'll have some speed friending that you can also join. So again, scan the QR code and you'll be able to join one of our English conversation groups. And it's a great way to meet other students and get to know the Aussie culture. Next slide, please. And the lucky last one I'm talking about today is Peer Assisted Study Sessions, which is PASS. So PASS is a program that is extremely successful. It's a worldwide program. And the way that it runs is After your lecture or tutorial, you meet with a group of students who are studying the same unit, and the session is run by a student who has already completed that subject, and they've completed it very successfully. And this is a group study. So they're weekly 1-hour groups that are either on campus or online. They're facilitated by a senior student who has successfully completed the subject. And what we find is not only does it increase your confidence, but it also helps you to increase the results that you achieve in that unit. And the great thing is the study tips and the lessons that you learn in a past session can also help you for future subjects that you complete. So it's a really great way to get involved. I'll put the link to PASS in the chat in just a moment. So if you ever want to reach out, I'm Michelle. I'm the coordinator for peer programs, and come and talk to me about any of the programs that I run. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle, for sharing some wonderful and very useful information. We will now move on to another great resource that we have at Western Sydney, which is the Western Success. Allow me to introduce Alex and Ria to go through the next few slides with you. Over to you guys.
Wonderful. Thanks, Ishi. If you go to the next slide, please. I am Alex. I'm a supervisor at Western Success. I've been a supervisor for about a year. So what we do at Western Success is we check in throughout the course of your studies. So we reach out to you by phone, WhatsApp, Zoom, or a variety of channels. Check in, make sure everything's going okay. And for those times when it's maybe not, we're here to provide that support and the options available to you. We can't promise to solve every problem, but for those we can't, we make sure that you're speaking to the right people instead of just the next people. So basically, we've got your back throughout the entirety of it. As I said, I've been a supervisor for about a year. I was a student formerly. Everyone at Western Success is a student currently or formerly. So we know the experience. We can use that to assist you. And I wanted to use, these positive and negative experiences to benefit people who are in similar situations to myself. And I'll pass over to Ria.
Hi everyone, my name is Ria and I'm a Western Success Advisor. I'm also a current student doing a master's in engineering. I've been working as a Western Success Advisor for about a year now, and it's been a great way for me to give back and support international students in a way that I needed help when I arrived from India. It's also helped me immensely with my people skills. As you can see, at Western Success, we have 31 advisors that do some incredible work to provide support to about 9,465 students, out of which the majority are international students like all of you here. All international students studying at Western Sydney University are assigned a dedicated Western Success Advisor upon completion of their enrollment. Moving on to the next slide. This slide is an ideal depiction of what we think our life will look like as we arrive in Australia. Once we arrive in Australia, we expect to move into a great accommodation and find a suitable job that can give us the financial support we need during our time here. We will make friends and build relationships. We will also study really hard, get good grades, and at the end of your degree, you will graduate in front of your family and friends. But more often than not, this is not what everyone's timeline will look like.
If we go to the next slide, Ishi, it usually looks a bit more like this. It's a bit more all over the place. So maybe you arrive, but you don't like your accommodation anymore. So you spend lots of time sorting that out. That takes the time away from your studies. You then focus on a job because you need more income. Again, that takes more time out of your studies. And then maybe you get back on track a little bit. But then, you want to enjoy the social aspect of uni because that's such an amazing bit of uni. And it takes a bit of time away. Then you get back on course, and then an unfortunate situation happens, like family situation that requires your attention. Situations like this are exactly what Western Success is here for. We're here to support you through it, make sure you know all your options and that you can make the best decision. Maybe after that, you get back on track, and then you get back, and then you get to your graduation. This is very normal. This is completely fine. The most important thing we want to push home is that your journey is your journey. There is no perfect journey. Every journey is great. Every journey has amazing moments, and we're here to support you through everything. So if your journey doesn't look exactly like it did on the next slide, that's completely fine. Okay, so what we also wanted to do quickly is wanted to highlight some things we think it's really important to get to grips with right away. So like when you're setting up, when you're establishing yourself at uni, and then some things that's really good to help make sure you thrive in a university environment, make sure you settle in and get everything out of uni you can. So first thing I want to do is talk about TEQSA. So TEQSA is a new piece of legislation that was enacted on the 1st of July. And basically what it is that international students studying in Australia have to be located in Australia and have to study at least one subject face-to-face each session. There's other components to this, so please look into it. It's really important because breaching TEQSA compliance has quite severe penalties, and we are always here to ask questions, so please feel free to contact us. Other things we want to mention quickly, Opal Card is a really great way to get to your classes and get around to other things at university for you. So please get an Opal Card. It's a great way to get around. The careers team are a wonderful, wonderful resource to help you find employment and experience to boost your career. The handbook and Allocate, hopefully many of you have used this already to enroll in your subjects and you'll get your timetable. If you haven't, please look into it. It will become your best friend throughout your session. So please look into it. And then we've already heard from our wonderful wellbeing team for your counselling, disability and welfare. Make sure you know about these things, you know how to contact them really easily, and then move forward throughout your studies with that knowledge.
So the wellbeing resources that Alex mentioned is important at the start of your journey here, but they will continue to help you throughout your studies in case anything emerges that will have a potential impact on your well-being. A few other suggestions we have to make the most out of your university life is to join clubs. Clubs are a great way to find people with similar interests. I'm personally an executive member of a few engineering clubs here at Western, for instance, like the Engineer Society and the Robotics Club, to name a few. I've met some incredible people through these events that we host and learn some practical skills through the workshops that we run. I would also suggest joining some projects to apply your degree to. For instance, I'm part of the Western Sydney Formula SAE project here, where we're building an open-wheeled race car, which has been an incredible way for me to apply what I've learned in my degree into a practical project. So I would definitely suggest looking into clubs and projects to help you settle into your university life. We also have Pass and Mates, which you have just heard from. And we also have Mesh, which runs workshops to help students with any quantitative content in a few subjects that you might have, like, for instance, the math subjects. We also have English conversation groups, which was just spoken about. This can help if you struggle with conversing in English. But I've personally been to one of their workshops and I've learned a lot about the slangs that are used in Australia, which prior to this, I had no idea what any of them meant. Next, we have events in Western life. There are a lot of events run by clubs and the university itself, which you can register into. This will help you find a community to find support in. The library is another great resource to reach out to. For instance, if you struggle with referencing, which I know I definitely did in my first semester. They also have Study Smart and academic literacy workshops, which will help with academic writing, which you will have to do for your assignments here. We have just highlighted some of the resources available, but you will learn more about these as you progress through your time here at Western.
Wonderful. We can go to the last slide. So these are all our contact informations. As I mentioned earlier, we have phone, WhatsApp, SMS, Zoom, and email. Feel free to reach out to us through any of these channels. If anything comes up, we're always a great first point of contact and push you in the right direction and give you some support. We will also be, as I'm sure most other people will say, we'll also be at the wonderful event happening next Thursday at Parramatta South Campus. So come say hi.
Thank you so much, Alex and Rita, for that wonderful introduction into Western Success. I myself actually had that call too when I was starting off, and I'm really glad that I did because, I was pointed to the right direction. So thank you guys for explaining all that. I will now go through a little bit of more serious stuff as well. So that is student visa rules. Now, please note that the Immigration Department may cancel your visa if you break any of the rules. So please keep that in mind. So I'll go through a few of these. So what these are as well. So study load. As an international student on a student visa, you need to enroll into a full-time study load. So 4 subjects every term. Attendance, you need to maintain your attendance at all times as well, and especially for your tutorials and practicals. Once you actually start as well, the the subject coordinators or the unit coordinators will actually let you know what the attendance are required, but especially for degrees like Bachelor of Nursing, you do need full attendance that is required. So keep that in mind as well. Progression. So when Western Sydney University regularly checks student progresses with their studies to help them stay on track, your grades will also be checked after the results are released to determine whether your progress in your studies are satisfactory. So we do have, like everybody else mentioned as well, we have so many support services. So, you know, just get used to them and also just, you know, use them as well as much as you can and get the best use out of them. Work conditions. If you are on a student visa, you are usually limited to working up to 48 hours per fortnight when your course is in session, and unrestricted work hours when the program is not in session. So work that is a requirement of your course, basically like placement, is not limited to 48 hours per fortnight. So those are the main work conditions that we have. With personal details, so when you log on to My Student Records, please make sure that all your details that are there are correct and up to date if necessary. So and you can change the things that you can actually change by yourself is your preferred name, your preferred gender, and your address. And make sure once you arrive in Sydney, you change your address on My Student Records as well. But the things that you won't be able to change is your legal name, your legal gender, and your date of birth. If, for example, one of those ones are incorrect and coming up incorrect on My Student Records, you won't be able to change this by yourself. You will need to get in touch and go into a student central office on campus and submit a change of personal details form and get that fixed up. And so we also have the Education Services for Overseas Student, the ESOS Act, that outlines, you know, the federal laws, the laws that protects you, the impacts that you may have on visa, the set standards, you know, for quality education and support services, as well as consumer protection. So when you basically go on Google tab or any tab and just type in ESOS Act, this will actually let you know about all these rules and regulations and the obligations for all our international students to know more about them and to be aware of, you know, your responsibilities and roles as an international student. All right, so I will now, so one of the most common questions that we do get asked is about the overseas student health cover. And so it's questions like, what are we covered for? How do I find my policy number? You know, so many questions that we get asked. We do have Moon from Bupa Services, who will be going through the next few slides with you. So over to you, Moon.
Thank you, Ish. Hello, everyone. My name is Moon Chan. I'm from Bupa, on-campus consultant in Western Sydney. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yep. The healthcare system might be different in your home country. So Australia healthcare system divided into two, a private health insurance and a public health insurance. So public health insurance is known as Medicare. Australian citizen and Australian permanent citizen will have it. And overseas student will have OHSC instead. But Bupa will cover 100% that Medicare does. So first of all, in your OHSC, Bupa will cover private and public hospital admissions. So it will cover you the hospitalization costs and the medical costs in the hospital. It's 100% government set amount for the medication service. So we also cover emergency ambulance, unlimited. So we are hard to define what is emergency or non-emergency, but I'll show two scenarios later to you guys. So for medical service, Bupa cover doctor consultations, specialists, X-ray, blood tests. So this is all cover 100% government set amount. For prescription medicines, if the prescribed item is over $30, it's claimable. Next slide, please. Yep. So here is two scenario. So if you have emergency issues, for example, chest pain, suspected broken bone, then you will have to call 000 for ambulance services or visit your local emergency hospital department. So for non-emergency health issue, for example, if you feel unwell, fever, headache, then you might need to visit your local GP or medical center. So as we mentioned that it's different healthcare system, we might need to get a GP referral letter before we go to a specialist. Next slide, please. Yep. So I would highly recommend every student to download MyBupa apps or register MyBupa in the mybupa.com.au website. So it is using your membership number followed by your student email to register. So in MyBupa, you can update your details, you can order a membership card, also can view your coverage of your insurance. The next slide, please. Thank you. So you can also make a claim in MyBupa. So you have to make sure if you're making a claim in MyBupa, the invoices have your name, the item number, and the medical service that you have been treated in your invoice. So Bupa also have a 24/7 student advice line. It will available in 180 languages for consultation, medical accident assistant, home and property assistant, general tax and inquiries. So if you have any advice that you need from those category, you can contact this number here. So students can also reach us out in many platforms. You can either go to any retail store that near to your place or email me in oshcwsu@bupa.com.au. Students can also meet me on the campus. So I'll be in Parramatta City campus every Monday and Wednesday from 10 o'clock in the morning to 4 p.m. So I'll be available in Parramatta South campus as well every Tuesday in the morning 9 a.m. to 4:30 located in the Student Service Hub. Thank you.
Thanks, Moon, for going through the Overseas Health Cover, or more commonly known as the OSHC. We have another very important topic that's coming up, which is the carrier services. And I know maybe you all have some questions regarding that, but Iman is here to answer all of that for you. So over to you, Iman.
Thank you, Ishi. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Western. And yeah, welcome to this brief segment on the career services that we provide each and every one of you as well. Next slide, please. Thank you. So those of you that have your smartphone handy, you can scan the QR code on screen at the moment to log into our website and Career Hub. And that's where you'll be able to register for a lot of the different things that I'll speak to you briefly about today as well. Next slide, please. Thank you. So there are so many different things that we can support you with here at Western. And one of the key messages that I really want to reiterate from today is for you to start early, connect with us early. Please don't wait until you're about to graduate to discover careers and come to us for help with your applications and your interviews. We can support you with all of these different things on screen from the very get-go, even before you land in Australia. A lot of our sessions and support programs and things are all accessible via Zoom and online as well. So those of you that are still offshore can absolutely participate from today. We run careers Q&A sessions a couple of times a week. At the moment, they're on every Tuesday and Thursday. And these sessions are fantastic support avenues for all of our students, both domestic and international, for you to be able to log in and engage with one of us career education consultants live over Zoom and have any of your career concerns, questions, queries, anything addressed accordingly. So they're very much student-led sessions, and we try to support you to a whole range of different links, resources, sites, talk you through different strategies, let you know how you can navigate your individual and collective career trajectories from there as well. So all of the things on screen, we can absolutely help you with in these segments. We also run lots of regular workshops, and those workshops are on some very important topics, including your resume. You'll need to know how to meet local expectations here in Australia to apply for different jobs, whether they're casual, part-time or degree-related experiences. So we can help you with that, your cover letter, how to address selection criteria for any government type roles and other positions, and also important things like interview preparation. We know that lots of people don't particularly enjoy interviews, so we can help you build your confidence as well as have those really great star examples on hand, ready to shine in such settings. There are lots of other support avenues, resources, things that you can do in your own time and things that you can do with us, including programs. You have workflows and activities and things that you can work through as well, and a whole range of other resources that are accessible. You do need to log in to Career Hub, and once you do log in, you will have access to everything that's there, and you'll be able to register into events and programs and express interest accordingly. I do want to let you all know about a specific program that you can apply to participate in, whether you are here face-to-face or you're offshore at the moment. This year it is going to be a hybrid approach. So there's going to be some face-to-face components, but there's also the online components as well, so that if you're not here, you can still participate. And this is a fantastic program for you to develop a whole range of employability skills, fill in some gaps on your resume and LinkedIn profile, start networking with not just students from Western Sydney University, but several other institutions around Sydney as well, and also not just universities, but also TAFE New South Wales. So it's a fantastic avenue, something that I strongly encourage and invite you all to register for and express interest in. I will include the link in the chat for you, but you do need to get your applications in by today if you are interested. So please don't think about it for too long. Get those applications to me instantly. Thanks, everyone. You can engage with us via a whole range of different avenues, but I do encourage you to also connect with us and follow us across social media platforms so that you're kept in the loop with regards to different expos, events, workshops, jobs that are happening or being promoted, internships, graduate programs, and everything in between. So please do that. And we really look forward to engaging with you both face-to-face and online across all of our different support services. Just a couple of other things briefly from me around working in Australia as well. It's really important that you do not just connect with us to know about your rights working in Australia, but also with the Fair Work Ombudsman. The restrictions have been reinstated. So this is really important to let everybody know. It's back to the 40 hours per fortnight. And this is so that you can prioritise your study. So we do want you to be able to make ends meet. We can help you as well source and secure some of those part-time and casual jobs, but you do need to prioritise your studies. So please keep this in mind. And if you're unsure about pay conditions, if you are facing any sort of issues with trying to land work, or whilst you have work, you've got some different issues and concerns that pop up, please, as I said, refer to the Fair Work Ombudsman. There's lots of great resources there. I'll pop a couple of them into the chat for you as well. And if you do have any specific queries, then you can also reach out to us and we can direct you to the right resources as well. Thanks, everyone.
We have a little video that we want to show you. So, yes.
The right to take leave. Working in Australia. In Australia, employees have rights that are protected by law. These include how much they must be paid, the conditions they should get, such as the right to take leave or time off work, and protections from discrimination. Australian workplace laws cover all employees, including those from overseas. They apply regardless of the length of a person's stay or their visa type. All employers must follow these laws. Minimum pay rates. In Australia, there are minimum pay rates set for different jobs. All employees must get paid the minimum rate for their job. They should receive the minimum rate for all the hours they work. Employers and employees can't agree to lower pay rates. Employees must be paid money and not in goods or services like food, clothing, or accommodation. Minimum pay rates are reviewed every year and generally increase on 1st of July. There are also rules about when an employee can work, the breaks they should take, and the number of hours they can work. The Fair Work Ombudsman. The Fair Work Ombudsman provides free information and advice to help employers and employees understand Australia's workplace laws. You cannot get in trouble for contacting the Fair Work Ombudsman to ask for information about your pay or other entitlements. Remember, if you're an employer, the Fair Work Ombudsman can help you understand your obligations to your employees. To contact the Fair Work Ombudsman, visit fairwork.gov.au or call the Fair Work Info line on 131394. If you need an interpreter, call the Translating and Interpreting Service on 131 450 to talk with us in your language for free.
Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, so we now have Nigel, who's part of our campus safety and security team, who will be now going through a lot of the safety measures here in the community. So over to you, Nigel.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Western. My name's Nigel. I work for Campus Safety and Security, and we will more than likely see you getting around the campus when you arrive. Next slide, please. Okay. So what we offer on campus, we have 24/7 security, which means foot patrols, vehicle patrols. There are emergency contact points as well, where you can contact us directly simply by pressing a button. They're dotted across the campus. We look after evacuations, some first aid, incident reporting, lost property, come to us. We can also offer escorts, late night escorts, that sort of thing, if you are unsure of getting back to your accommodation. We do make referrals to New South Wales Police for more serious matters, and WSU support services as well. Please be aware, when you are on campus, there is no smoking or vaping permitted on any campus. And we do have wildlife on campus, and those who attend the Kingswood or Hawkesbury campus will see that firsthand, up close and firsthand. Travelling to and from campus, we offer shuttle buses, normally from stations, major areas like that. You can track those on your phone. There is a tracker available. So when you're travelling to and from campus, don't be distracted by headphones or mobile phones, things like that. Please try and be aware of what's happening around you, especially if you're not from Australia, or you're not used to being in Australia. Just make sure that you are aware of your surroundings and the situation that you're in. Below, you can see a list of emergency contact numbers. I would take note of those, especially 000 if you're off campus. That's your quickest link to any emergency assistance. Next slide, please. Oh, no more next slide. That was quick. Safety considerations. So Sydney is regarded as a safe city, but it is an international city and it has those international problems. So when you're traveling on public transport, trains and buses, travel in well-populated carriages, lots of people around. On trains, the guard always has a blue light in the carriage, normally at the end of the train or the middle of the train. Stay in well-lit areas on platforms and bus stops, etc. And all train stations have emergency contact points as well. Protect your valuables is a big thing. Don't leave your valuables lying around, your backpacks, laptops, handbags. Avoid openly carrying valuable items in public. Carry only what you need for the day. That's very important. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of those people around you. Use routes that are well lit, and trust your instincts. If you think something's not quite right, normally something's not quite right. Next slide, please. Driving. Here we drive on the left side of the road. International driver's license is required. Seat belts are required by the driver and all passengers. Speed limits are enforced, including safety cameras. And even though you are on campus, our roads are public roads. So police do patrol and monitor our roads as well on campus. So speed limits are enforced. Drinking limits enforced. Different rules for learning drivers and full license drivers apply there. Vehicle safety. Park only in well-lit areas. If your car breaks down, raise the hood and use hazard lights Get out of your car, stay close to your car, but remain safe. Riding a bike helmets are required by law. Allocated bike paths are available in the city and in the suburbs. You can check those out on the newsouthwalescycling.org.au site. Wear bright clothing, and obviously if you're traveling at night on your bike or skateboard or scooter or whatever you may have at that time, use lights, etc., etc. Who to contact? 000 is at not 911. 000 is our emergency contact for emergencies only. The operator will ask you which service you require, whether you require police, fire or medical, and they'll pass you on to those. For non-emergencies, you can contact the police assistance line. That's all done online. And then that information gets passed on to your local area police station. And you can call Crime Stoppers as well. The numbers there, I would take note of those numbers as well. Okay, next slide. Staying safe. In Australia, the police are separate from the government, the Army and Defence Force. So police here operate independently. You can identify police by the insignia on their uniforms or by the formal identification they will have with them. All our police officers carry formal identification. Police are here to help you and keep you safe. You can approach police at any time, either on the street or by attending your local police station. The police are always good for information and assistance. They're always here to help. Next slide, please. Beach safety. Small video.
There are beautiful beaches across Australia, but you need to make sure that you and your family are safe when you're at the beach. Always swim between the red and yellow flags, as this is the safest area to swim. No flags means no swim. Swim at beaches where there are lifeguards and lifesavers patrolling. Follow any instruction given by them. Read the signs located on the walkways to the beach. If you get into trouble in the water, stay calm and raise your arm and signal for help. Always supervise your children in the water and on the sand. Put your valuables away and don't leave them unattended. If you're unsure about the water conditions or have any questions, speak to the lifeguards or the lifesavers. Never swim if you've been drinking, alcohol or taking drugs. Don't swim at night, as the beaches are not patrolled and the risk of danger increases. Most importantly, have fun and enjoy the beautiful local beaches and keep yourself and your family safe.
Very good advice. Beach safety and learn to swim. There's a 6-week learn to swim program for Western students. You must register via Western Life in advance. So the places are limited. Runs multiple times throughout the year. It's a really good course, really fun day, and a lot to learn. Visit the beach with our lifeguard experts and learn how to enjoy our beaches safe with the Beach Safety Day Out, which is another great day as well. Yeah, I recommend both of those. Next slide, please. That's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nigel, for all that wonderful information, very well detailed. I'm now going to pass over to Badra and Emma, two of our amazing outreach librarians, to go through the next few slides on our library and the resources. So over to you both.
Hi, I'm Badra.
Hi, I'm Emma Boddington, one of the outreach librarians. We like to think of the library as a place that's available to you anywhere, anytime, and online. So obviously we have our physical libraries. There's one on each campus. So there's 8 different libraries across the Western Sydney campuses. And you're welcome to attend those spaces to study and, browse our collections and our books, our resources. We also have a lot of online resources that you can access. And these are available on our website through our search box. So you can see the library website there on the screen, westernsydney.edu.au/library. And you'll also have a reading list on your view site when you start studying. And that reading list will have physical books on it that you might have to borrow from the library, or it may have online resources, particularly if you're studying offshore, and or perhaps a mixture of both. So if you need any help finding books for your studies or journal articles, do get in touch with us. And yes, do have a look at that reading list when you start studying. So we encourage you to get to know your library. Definitely check out the library website. You can see there's My Library, which is where you can renew your loans online and see which books you have borrowed. We also have the online librarian chat, which is also on the website. This is very useful. You can ask questions about anything library related, such as questions about referencing, questions about research or finding a resource. It's also really useful if, when say you're studying in the library, if perhaps you're not feeling comfortable, if anyone makes you feel uncomfortable at any time, or if they're making noise that's disturbing you, you can let us know through this chat service. You don't even have to draw any attention to yourself. It's really subtle, and it will let library staff know, and then they can come and deal with the issue or the person who's disturbing you. I should mention that in our libraries, it is a shared study space, so we do have to be considerate of others. We use headphones for audio, and mobile phones must be switched to silent, so we don't want to disturb others. It's fine to talk in our general study area. You can just talk quietly to the person next to you, but you shouldn't be disturbing anyone else. And then we also have the silent study, where there's no talking at all, and the quiet study, which is whispering. If you need to collaborate, we have group study rooms, which are a fantastic room that you can book and work on those group assignments. Next slide.
Hello, everybody. You may be pleased to know that you can access over 70 million digital resources for your assessments, your assignments. I don't think you'll be using all of that, but there are ebooks, digital textbooks, databases, journals, and articles from the library website search box. It looks like that, what you can see on the screen. And use the library website search box to find books and journal articles. Not only that, you can also find past exam papers from the library website. Next slide, please. Now, you will have a lot of assignments, okay? So plan your time with the assignment time calculator. So if you have multiple assignments, it's better to nominate all these things in the, it's very easy to use. Use that one wisely. Now, successful searching online tutorial is a very useful tool. It will help you to learn how to find the best sources for your assignment. You can also use the Academic Skills Pocketbook. It's a very useful guide. And this is your library's guide to studies, to help you with the study skills, academic writing, and assignments, because you will be dealing with all these things. Next slide, and over to you, Emma.
Thank you. So I might talk a little bit about Study Smart Librarian. This is a service that the library offers, and it involves booking a one-on-one appointment with a literacy expert to get information and resources for your assignments. So they can help you with those researching skills, which are so important at university. And they can also help you with referencing and citing your sources correctly. So this is if you actually want to have an appointment with someone and sit down together and spend some time getting some help. It's a free service. It's very popular with the students. You can book it on the Study Smart website. You can see the link there. And you can either do a Zoom appointment or a face-to-face appointment in the library. I highly recommend it. They're really fantastic. Also talk about Studiosity. So this is actually an online service that allows you to get written feedback on your assignments at the draft stage. So maybe you've written an assessment and you're getting ready to hand it in, but you'd like a little bit of feedback, particularly about your academic writing, your writing style. So Studiosity is accessible through Views. There's a link that you can go in, and library staff can also help you access Studiosity. It is, again, a free service, though you do have a limited number of interactions that you can use per semester. So use them wisely, and you'll be able to see how many you've used. But again, a very popular service and really fantastic for anyone if, say, English isn't your first language. This doesn't get seen by your lecturer or your tutor. It's only seen by the Studiosity service providers. So you're getting completely independent feedback.
We are here to help you. Yeah, just go to the service desk of any of the libraries you visit. And if you're on campus, you can talk to one of our friendly librarians there. And you just have to approach them. They'll help you. If you can't visit, and if you're working from home, you can still access our librarians using virtual library, online library. So we got online librarians, and you can either phone up, chat, or send an email. And they are available during the semester from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on weekends from 9:30 to 4:30 p.m. during the semester. Semester break, it's a different one, but you can check the timetable. Next slide, please. Now, this is very important for you, the referencing and citation. That is a major component of your assignments. You know, you may have heard about referencing and citations. Did you know that in university we use 6 preferred referencing styles? But don't worry, you don't have to use all of them. You have to learn only one. You know what is referencing? It is when writing assignments, you need to make sure you are acknowledging the works and ideas of others through referencing and in-text citations. You must acknowledge quotations, information, and ideas taken from other authors by using a bibliography or list of references and in-text citations. And see, different subjects may have different styles, and your lecturer will let you know what referencing style you will be using. So there are different ways of getting help if you are not sure with referencing, at least initially. You can get expert advice from an appointment with a librarian, face-to-face or Zoom, or have a live chat with one of the online librarians, or there are a lot of guides in the library website that helps you to use the referencing styles. There are some videos that can also help you in learning how to use different referencing styles. There is a fantastic game developed by the library. This is called RefQuest. It's a referencing game. So you just play, when you get some time, get into the RefQuest and play that game. This will teach you how to use a preferred referencing style, various activities, through activities. It's fun. So do that. Over to you, Emma, with the next slide.
Sure. So you may come across something in your studies called the Academic Integrity Module, or AIM module. It's a compulsory unit, and it teaches you how to study with integrity. That's really important. So you'll find it on your Views site, and it's a module that you have to complete in order to progress through your course, and keep an eye open for that. And if you need any help with it, do get in touch with the library. So you can see here the link to the library website, westernsydney.edu.au/library. Have a good look at that website. It is linked at the top of the Western Sydney University homepage as well. And we might just paste it into the chat too, just for good measure. I'll do that. And we're also on social media, so you can follow us as well. I'll just put that into the chat. Library website. And yeah, do keep in touch. We have all kinds of things that come up, workshops, promotions, and so on. So do become familiar with the library website. It's going to be an important part of your studies. Thank you.
And if you forget whatever we told you today, don't worry. Just approach the library either through the library homepage, or visiting at campus, or through online, or through your views. We will be there to help you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emma and Vedra. Definitely, we have some very welcoming and very beautiful libraries across our campuses. So when you're here in Sydney, do make your time and go visit them. I will now be taking you through the next few slides. So we've got Western Life. We'll start off by looking at a video, but just before we get started, we do have a Q&A session that's happening for anyone who actually missed this announcement. If you have any further questions on any of the topics that we discussed, so please feel free to use it, but it's completely optional as well. Right, so moving on to the next slide, let's just watch this video. Alrighty, so the video might have given you all a big hint on what this is about. So what is Western Life? So it's basically your virtual community to share experiences, learn new things, connect with new friends, and engage with events or discussions that interest you. I can see that on the chat you've already made some networking friends. So feel free to register for Western Life and attend them together. There are so many clubs and services that are also available, so many countless numbers that you can definitely join in. When you register, all you need to do is just register your interest. All you need is your student ID number and your password as well. There's always something new to try, and there's always something that's happening every week, whether it's free breakfast, outings, games, live events and parties, movie nights, and so many more other events as well. So make sure that you visit the link that's given and have a look into what we offer. We also, just like we mentioned earlier, we do have some very important and very fun events happening next week as well, which we'll go through very shortly. So make sure to use the link and be involved in registering with Western Life. See what we have offering from next week, and and have the chance to meet with everybody, and hopefully you have a great time as well. We also have a chat function to connect with students on the Western Life platform, so definitely go ahead and make the best use of it. Moving on to the next slide. All right, so now we'll go through the enrollment and class registration, which is our last bit of the session today. All right, so accepting and registering. So step one is to activate your Western account. So once you got an offer, an unconditional offer, you need to activate your Western account. And to do that, you need your student ID number, which is given on both your offer letter as well as your COE. And then log on to Western account. This is where you'll be creating a password for the student ID number. The student ID is usually a 7-digit number and an 8-digit number, and you can use that. Using that, you can create a password via the Western account. Once you've created a password, then step 2, you will then be logging on to something called the My Student Records, or more commonly referred to as MySR. This is where you'll be completing the rest of your enrollment. So to access this page, simply go to the Western Sydney homepage as shown in the example and click onto the sign in to drop down list at the very top right-hand corner and select the option, which is the 5th option, and select My Student Records. Now you need to log in with your student ID and the newly created password, and you'll need to complete all the steps to continue through the process as well. After you register into your subjects, please wait at least 1 to 2 hours for the system to update, and then you can go ahead and register for and select your timetables. Okay, so registering. Now you might be wondering, how do you find which subject you need to do, and how many subjects are there, and what subjects do you exactly do? Now there might be some questions around that. Well, the subjects, as a full-time international student, especially on a student visa, you are required to study a full-time study load. That is 4 subjects every term. And to find out which subjects you need to do, we use something called the handbook. So basically, using the link that's given, you need to get into handbook and just type in your course, and it would show you. Just click onto the course and then click sequence or structure as well, and then it would show you what the subjects you're supposed to be doing. Or if there's if the subjects are just not a little clear to you, or it just becomes a little confusing, you can always get in touch with the student services, or you can also get in touch directly with your academic course advisor or your program course advisor for any of, to get clear of any of the doubts that you may have. Right. So once you're registered into your to your subjects, which would be 4 subjects again, full-time study, the final step would be class registration. So it's where you choose your classes and put together your timetable. So from today at 10 o'clock, so it's live again, Allocate Plus, which is what we use. I'll quickly go through that too. So once you register for your subjects through My Student Records, you need to wait 1 to 2 hours for the system to update. Once done, you can log on to My Student Records again, and this time you need to select the option that says Class Registration. You would be taken to a page where it says just class registration at the top. Make sure to select the option that says 2023 student login for ClassReg. You need to log in with your student email and password. Once done, it will take you to a page that says Allocate Plus. Now make sure when you're on that page that it says Allocate Plus 2023 at the very top. So check that all your subjects are coming up on Allocate Plus, the ones that you just registered into on your left-hand side, and then just click onto each of the subjects. So some subjects might have different components. So basically, one subject might have a lecture. Some subjects might have a lecture and a tutorial. Some subjects might have a lecture, a tutorial A, and a tutorial B, and also a workshop. So it might have different components, and you need to click onto each of those little components. So LE, it would have like different code names as well. So LE stands for lecture, TU stands for tutorial. So make sure that you click onto each of them and select a class time. Now, if you're having any trouble with, enrolling into the classes, or if you're having, let's say, you're logging into Allocate Plus, but all the classes are coming as it's full, or there's a clash, and you need to get in touch with Student Services Hub if you are having any of those issues as well. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, if you are having any sort of issues with any of your enrollment steps, please get in touch with us. So we also have a session every Wednesday at 6 o'clock at our that's conducted by our support services. We may have met some of you already through there. So it's every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, and this is to help you with subject selection, enrollment, or class registration assistance. We also, if you are unable to attend that, you can also give us a call or even get in touch with us via email. So the contact details are actually given on the page. So take a screenshot or just write them down, because you can always get in contact with us as well. And also you can also ask them in today, if you have any, just any confusion, you can ask them in the Q&A session as well. And one of our staff will get back to you very shortly. Okay, so My Western. So here at Western, we have a number of different terminology that we use, and we will go through so that you can get yourself a little bit familiarize yourself with these ones. So the first one is My Western. It's basically your one-stop access point to every Western resource. You can access your student email, your timetable, important news and information about life at Western, easy access to some of the content that you'll be using so frequently. That's all accessible through My Western. So as you can see, there are 2 examples. So this one right here, the first example, this is how you can actually get into My Western. So simply go to the Western Sydney homepage, At the top, there should be a sign into a drop-down list. Click onto that and then select the option that says My Western. Now you'll need to log in again with your student ID and password, and it will take you to a page that shows that's like this. So on your right-hand side corner. So again, it would show you all the it's easy to access all the resources that we'll be using. So timetables, views, which I'll be going through very shortly as well. So all the resources that you need are within a hand's reach, and you can access them all through My Western. So views. Now this is going to be a very important one that you'll be using maybe on a regular basis. I did, definitely. So you'll be starting off with this one when you actually start your studies. So this is a very important one. This is your online platform where all your program information, coursework, including your lecture slides and assessment information, learning materials, and everything will be uploaded. So simply, again, go onto the Western Sydney homepage, and at the top, there should be a sign into drop-down list, and then you can select views. It would take you to this page. Some of you might not have access to this yet, because usually all the learning resources are uploaded into this platform probably a week before the classes actually start. So don't panic if nothing's actually showing up. But yeah, so views is basically all the learning materials that you'll need for your subject. All the subjects throughout your degree will be all uploaded in here. So make sure that you are aware of these ones as well and go through them. Student email. Now, all of you should have your own unique student email. So basically, it's a combination of your student ID number at student.westernsydney.edu.au. So an example is shown as well. So to access your student email, you can do so by going to My Western, or another easy way is to do so by going to the Western Sydney homepage and then selecting the sign into drop-down list and then selecting student email option. Now, all the correspondences that are required will be happening via your student email. So it's very important that you check your emails on a regular basis, because all the important notices and announcement, if any department wants to get in touch with you, that would also be happening through your student email. Let's say you want to get in touch with any other departments, so enrollments, welfare, student services, international admissions. We highly recommend that you use your student email from now on to actually get in touch with us, because it's really easy for us to know that you are the student, and also to actually access your records because we have your student ID on your email. Because a lot of the students, when they send an email through their private emails, they forget to put in their details, personal details. So it's very difficult for us to find out whether this is the actual student, and also it's very difficult for us to access any records of you guys as well. So make sure once you have access to, once you've created a password for your through Western account to your student number, that you do go in and have a look into your student email if you want to get in touch with us at all. So you can use a student email to do so, and make sure that you check your student email regularly. Even when you start your classes, it's so important because all the announcement, everything will be sent there. Western app. Now, a very cool feature that I'd like to go through with you is that we have an app that's called the Western app. So this app is available on both Apple App Store and on Google Play as well. So some of the features in this app is that we have obviously access to the email, and then there's also maps, campus maps, buildings, and locations. So basically you can find Western Sydney University buildings and see the locations and the campuses. We have so many buildings, so there is a high chance that you can get lost sometimes and not know which campus exactly you have to go, because we already have Parramatta. In Parramatta, we have 3 campuses already as well. So this is a great resource that you can use to check which campus you need to go, which building it is, and how to get there as well, because we've got maps. Another one is we've got the directory, easy access to staff directory. You can look up any university staff, contact them directly via the app, and add them to your personal contact list if you want to get in touch with them as well. So that's there on the app. University events calendar. So all the events that's happening, that's on Western Life. And you can even add them to your personal calendar as well. You can see them through this app, which is pretty helpful. And we also, so download this app and check them out, because we will have a lot of events starting from next week onwards as well. And emergency contacts, so fast access to campus security, the police, and also the emergency numbers as well can be accessed through this app. We also have My IT. So basically, if you have any technical issues, you know, when you're trying to enroll and it says, oops, something's gone wrong, we don't have, you can't access this page. If any of these kind of technical issues arise, then all you need to do is get in touch with our IT service desk. You can do so by going through this app, or you can also get in touch with them via call. So simply just type IT, Western Sydney University, and all the contact details would actually come up. Fast access to student services hubs, the services that we offer as well should be on this app. And then the library. So we've got all the library resources, including tools, library hours, and the online library chat option as well. That's available to be accessed through this app. Shuttle services. Now, this might be something new. So we have a bus that's called the shuttle bus, which is a bus that goes from the designated campus, the train stations to the campus, the closest campus. Now, it doesn't so it's a free bus that goes from, you know, the campus to the train station, picks you up, and then, you know, drops you to the any other sort of campus as well. So you can actually use this this app to actually check live time where your shuttle bus is. Now, some of the frequent questions that we get asked about the shuttle bus is that, can it pick you up from home? No, so it wouldn't. So the thing with this shuttle bus is, so it would take you from your campus to another campus that's very close by, because in Parramatta we've got 3 campuses. So it would take you from your Parramatta South campus to the Parramatta North to the Parramatta City and drop you off from there. So to the very closest campus, and it would pick you up from the very closest train station that's near to the campus as well. And then obviously we've got carriers as well on the app, Wellbeing, and many other more. So go download that and see how it's going to be very useful to you guys as well. So upcoming support sessions and student events. So we have our International Student Welcome Week next week, Thursday, 13th of July at 9 o'clock in the morning. So to all of you who will be in Sydney by this date, please come along. It's going to be so much fun. You're going to get to meet a lot of us as well there, and, you know, have such a good time, and, you know, get in touch with some of the carrier support services, or, you know, just in general, any all the student services as well, and get a chance to meet your friends that you just met maybe as well. So if you haven't registered already, please do so by scanning the QR code. And also, when you're registering, there would be a competition sort of question that would come up. So make sure that you answer that, so you will be on the list, or, you know, to get yourself a chance to win one of the e-gift cards as well. Okay, so enrollment and class registration help. So another very important one that I think some of you might have already attended as well is that we do have a session that's happening every Wednesday at 6 o'clock via Zoom, and that's to help you with information on enrolling, selecting your subjects, completing forms, and selecting classes for your timetable, and to ask any questions that you may have. So this is a great resource that you can also come along, and if you have any questions. If you don't, you can also get in touch with us via, you know, just calling us or even emailing us. But yeah, this is a really great one that you can attend. So the next upcoming sessions that we have is on the 12th of July, 19th of July, and the 26th. So mark these calendars. If you have any sort of trouble with your enrollments, or you don't know what subjects you need to select, or, you know, just anything in general, if it's related to enrollments and class registration, just please do come along and say hi, and we can solve whatever. We'll try to do our best to solve any questions that you may have. We also have more online sessions that are coming up. So you can also check these all on Western Life. So we have our International Student Networking event. So all our international students, this is a friendly way to connect with with other students in a friendly environment. So come along. It's going to be on Monday, the 10th of July at 6 o'clock. So next week, Monday. So we have stuff that's starting from next week, Monday already. And then we've got Coming to Australia Q&A session. So this is to find out more about what you can expect when you arrive in Australia. And for some of you, this might be the first time that you're traveling as well. So it's very important that you may be wanting to attend this session. So it's going to be on Tuesday, the 11th of July And it's also going to be there on the Tuesday, the 18th of July as well. And yeah, so this is where you can find out more information about what to expect when you arrive and what life is really like for an international student. What can you do to, make your life much more fun and interactive? You can also get in touch with them on this date to know more about that. We've also got a scholarship and sponsored student Q&A session. So this session is for students who's got any questions or scholarship sort of inquiries. It will be held every Monday and Wednesday and Friday at 1 o'clock. I know some of you have been attending these sessions as well and have found them very helpful. So if you have anything that's related to scholarships, some questions that students might ask is, my scholarship, how does it work? How does my scholarships work? Because some of you might have received a scholarship of $3,000 to $6,000. So how will that come to my, how will it show up on my student records? So all these information, any sort of questions that you may have, or even to listen to what the team actually, this international scholarship team might say, you can come along and enjoy the session here. So if you need help, so we have, I'm part of the Student Services Hub as well, and I may have spoken with some of you as well, but we are here to help. So we are the first point, Student Services Hub is the first point of contact for information, advice, forms and referrals to all the other services. So all questions are welcome. And you can get in touch if you're in Australia, you can get in touch with the following contacts. And also if you're overseas, there is a different phone number as well. And you can get in touch with us via the email or even visiting the website. If you just type westernsydney.edu.au/student central. If you want to come over to one of our campuses, Student Central offices, you can do so as well, definitely. And we are open Monday to Friday from 9 to 4:30 p.m. So if you need any sort of help face-to-face, so just like I said, if your personal details are incorrect on My Student Records and you want to get that fixed, you can come and speak to one of our Student Central team members as well, and fill out a change of personal details form, and then fix any of those issues as well, or be directed to who you need to get in contact with. Okay, so we have a welcome guide as well. So to best assist you with all helpful information that you will need with your student journey at Western, we have our Western guide. So you can download it by scanning the QR code or by visiting the International Orientation page. And it's got some very helpful and very useful information as well. You can definitely go ahead and scan the QR code. And yes, it's sort of like a long PDF that's got all the very important and very useful information. There's also got like some frequently asked questions that you might relate to as well. Some questions that you might have would be there too. So definitely go ahead and give it a check as well. Stay connected. So lastly, a message that I want to convey to all of you is stay connected. We do have a number of social media platforms, which you may have come across already, because there are some very great content that's been uploaded. So stay up to date and check us out on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. Go like our Facebook page as well and stay connected. Don't forget to also like the main university page as well on Facebook, and that would be at Western Sydney U. And we've also got Instagram as well. So make sure go and have a look and see what it's all about. And yeah, so we have now come to the end of our Spring 2023 orientation session. Congratulations again, everybody, and thank you so much for joining with us this afternoon. I hope you've got some very great information and are looking even more forward to commencing studies with us. Thank you all so much, and also the staff members who presented and who's been going through all these questions that should have been coming through as well. So thank you, and also to the staff members who've been doing the work behind tirelessly as well. Thank you so much. Just another reminder that our International Welcome Week is next week, 13th of July at 9 o'clock. So please, if you're in Sydney, please do attend, and also make sure to answer the competition questions to win yourself some great gift cards as well. I mean, who wouldn't want that? So thank you, everybody, again. We will be here for another few minutes just to see if you have any other questions. So you can use the Q&A if you have any further questions, the Q&A option, if you just click onto that option on Zoom. if you have any questions, but otherwise have a lovely afternoon and a great weekend ahead as well. So embrace the new world you've stepped into and enjoy the campus and be part of the events that are provided. Seek support whenever you need as well. It's always okay to ask questions. So, and we wish you all the very best and can't wait to see you all on campus. So thanks everybody and have a lovely day.